pretty amazing. I mean, who would have thought it? That's absolutely true. For decades, Leave It to Beaver was America's picture of perfection. But behind its wholesome charm hid secrets, scandals, and heartbreaks fans never knew. Did you know it was the first show to ever show a toilet on TV, nearly getting banned? Or that one actress quit after being humiliated on set, while another star secretly battled tragedy off camera? In this video, we uncover shocking truths the cast has finally revealed. Real stories that prove Mayfield wasn't as innocent as it seemed. This is the truth behind TV's perfect family. 20. Hugh Beaumont's tragic secret. Behind Hugh Beaumont's calm smile and steady presence as Ward Cleaver, the epitome of the perfect American father, lay a heartbreaking personal tragedy that few ever knew. In 1959, during the third season of Leave It to Beaver, Beaumont's real-life family was involved in a devastating car accident while traveling from Minnesota to visit him in Hollywood. The crash claimed the life of his mother-in-law and left his young son, Hunter, seriously injured. The tragedy struck just as Beaumont's career was flourishing, and America had embraced him as the ideal TV dad. Yet, while audiences saw warmth and wisdom on screen, the man behind the character was quietly grappling with grief, guilt, and profound sense of loss that shadowed every day of filming. Later recollecting, Beaumont arrived on script days with his typical gentleness. However, there was a certain deep sadness that would never leave his eyes. He acted his part with utmost professionalism, but those close to him knew there was detachment from the role. He was putting pain into the compassion and patience Ward Cleaver would have. It became something of a silent therapy for a man who needed to uphold his dignity and grace amidst private sorrow. The audiences loved Beaumont's depiction of the manly, perfect father. However, he was mindful of an aching reality, that behind perfection lay heartbreaks, a heartbreaking reality known only to him and unseen by the camera. You thought you knew Leave It to Beaver. The next truth will prove you didn't know it at all. 19. Larry Mondello's disappearance. Larry Mondello, Beaver Cleaver's chubby, snack-loving best friend, was one of the most beloved troublemakers on Leave It to Beaver. Played by Rusty Stevens, Larry's constant schemes and innocent blunders perfectly balanced Beaver's curiosity, making their friendship a highlight of the show's early seasons. However, by the start of Season 4, viewers noticed something strange. Larry had vanished without explanation. There was no on-screen farewell or storyline to explain his absence. For years, fans speculated wildly. Some believed the young actor had been dismissed for misbehavior, while others thought he simply outgrew the role. But behind the scenes, the truth was more complicated and unfortunate. Barbara Billingsley, who played June Cleaver, later remarked that Rusty Stevens' mother was the real reason for his disappearance. She allegedly became too protective and was difficult to work with, often interfering with production and making life miserable for everyone on set. So when the Stevens family was planning to move from California to Philadelphia, producers took advantage of the situation and quietly wrote Larry out. The space left by his departure was soon filled by a new character, Gilbert Bates, played by Stephen Talbot, who was akin to Larry in his mischievous energy. Yet, for many fans, there was no replacing that endearing combination of awkwardness, loyalty, and disruption that Larry brought. His sudden exit marked one of the most puzzling and bittersweet stories behind the curtains of the show. 18. The kids weren't allowed to watch the show. While Leave It to Beaver became a cultural phenomenon across America, its young stars Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow were ironically forbidden from watching the very show that made them famous. The producers insisted that the boys should not see themselves on screen, fearing it might make them arrogant or self-conscious. They worried that fame could go to their heads and spoil the innocence that made Beaver and Wally so relatable. As a result, while millions of viewers tuned in each week to follow the Cleaver family's adventures, the two boys were kept away from the television set. Tony Dow later admitted that he didn't even know how popular the show was until long after it ended. This odd restriction was part of a larger effort to maintain authenticity and ensure protection for the young stars against Hollywood pressures. The boys enjoyed comparatively ordinary childhoods away from the cameras, going back to school, playing sports, and hanging out with friends between filming schedules. Ironically, they were huge names, but never got to experience that same fame surrounding their characters. Years later, The two actors look back with amusement that they had become icons of 1950s television without ever having seen themselves on it. 17. The most expensive episode cost $40,000. The Leave It to Beaver episode in the Soup, aired on May 6, 1961, became the most expensive installment in the show's history, costing nearly $40,000 to produce, a staggering amount for a sitcom at the time. The episode follows young Beaver and his mischievous friend Whitey as they gaze up at a massive billboard advertising a steaming bowl of soup. When Whitey dares Beaver to climb up and see if the soup is real, the curious boy takes a challenge, only to end up trapped inside the giant fake bowl. What seemed like a simple scene actually required an elaborate production setup, including two separate billboards, one built outdoors for wide shots and another full-size replica on a soundstage for close-ups. It was an exorbitantly costly affair owing to large-scale prop construction, safety measures, and complex camera work. Even though the cost was high, the episode became one of the most unforgettable and iconic moments in television history. The rushing firefighters, the suspense, and Beaver's innocent curiosity turning into chaos, all captured perfectly. 16. Why Jerry Weil left the show. Jerry Weil, who played Judy Hensler, the sharp-tongued classmate who constantly teased Beaver, left Leave It to Beaver for deeply personal reasons that few fans knew about. At just 12 years old, Jerry began experiencing puberty while filming, and it quickly became a source of discomfort. Producers reportedly had her bind her chest with ace bandages to keep her appearance childlike, which made her feel humiliated. One particularly painful memory came during a baseball scene when she had just gotten her first period, terrified that her sanitary pad would show as she spun during filming. The emotional pressure became unbearable. Though rumors later claimed she was fired, Jerry clarified decades later that she left on her own. "They didn't fire me," she said. "I let them go." Her departure became a quiet act of self-preservation against the pressures of Hollywood. 15. The first toilet on American TV. In October 1957, Leave It to Beaver made television history with the episode Captain Jack, which featured the first toilet ever shown on American TV. In the story, Beaver and Wally try to raise a baby alligator but struggle to hide it, finally deciding to stash it in the toilet tank. At the time, even showing a toilet was considered scandalous. CBS and later ABC objected fiercely, calling it inappropriate. After negotiations, producers were only allowed to show the toilet tank and handle, not the bowl. Still, that brief moment marked a turning point in television realism and pop culture history. 14. Tony Dow was a junior Olympic diver. Before becoming America's favorite big brother, Tony Dow was a real athlete. He began diving at age 5 and went on to become a junior Olympic champion by age 9. His discipline and grace in diving shaped the focus and humility he later brought to acting. In fact, Dow's entry into Hollywood was accidental. He accompanied his mother to an audition, caught a casting director's eye, and landed the role of Wally Cleaver despite no acting experience. 13. Characters age with the actors. One of Leave It to Beaver's unique traits was letting its characters grow alongside the actors. Jerry Mathers started as a second grader, Tony Dow as a teenager, and over 6 seasons, viewers watched them mature naturally. Unlike most sitcoms of the time, Leave It to Beaver allowed life to move forward. School, crushes, responsibility, mirroring real American family life. 12. Jerry Mathers wasn't in I Love Lucy. For decades, fans believed Jerry Mathers had appeared in an episode of I Love Lucy. He firmly denied it, clarifying on Facebook in 2019 that the boy in question was not him, but another child actor. Despite the records proving it, the rumor persists, showing just how deeply Mathers' image became imprinted in pop culture. 11. Beaver's Boy Scout audition. Jerry Mathers' journey to Beaver began at age 5, when he attended his audition in a full Boy Scout uniform because he had a troop meeting afterward. When asked if he wanted the role, he simply said he just wanted to finish and go to his meeting. His honesty won him the part instantly. That sincerity became the heart of his character and helped make Leave It to Beaver timeless. 10. June Cleaver's pearls had a neck indentation. Barbara Billingsley wore pearls not just for elegance, but to conceal a small indentation on her neck that created shadows under studio lighting. What began as a practical fix became June Cleaver's signature, an icon of 1950s domestic perfection. 9. High heels were mandatory. Billingsley wore heels in nearly every scene to appear taller next to her growing TV sons, maintaining her visual authority as mother figure. Though uncomfortable, she endured it quietly, perfect grace on screen hiding the effort beneath. 8. Mayfield's location was a mystery. The Cleaver family's hometown was deliberately left vague, allowing every viewer to imagine it was their own small American town. References hinted at Wisconsin or Illinois, but producers confirmed they wanted Mayfield to represent everywhere America, universal and timeless. 7. Many cast members returned in the 1983 revival. Decades later, Still the Beaver reunited most of the original cast, leading to the new Leave It to Beaver series. Jerry Mathers, Tony Dow, Barbara Billingsley, and others returned, though sadly without Hugh Beaumont, who had passed in 1982. The revival honored his memory and rekindled nostalgia for a new generation. 6. Funny lines were cut on purpose. Unlike other sitcoms, Leave It to Beaver avoided overly comedic punchlines. Producers wanted genuine, gentle humor that reflected real life. If a line made the cast laugh too much in rehearsal, it was removed. The result was warm, subtle comedy that made viewers smile rather than burst out laughing, a reflection of real family life. 5. Tony Dow wasn't originally an actor. Before Leave It to Beaver, Dow was focused on athletics and had never acted. His natural sincerity during auditions, combined with his athletic confidence, made him the perfect Wally Cleaver. 4. The real reason the show ended. After 6 successful seasons, Leave It to Beaver ended not due to poor ratings, but because Jerry Mathers wanted to focus on school as he grew older. The producers realized the show couldn't continue without its heart, Beaver himself, and ended it gracefully. 3. Barbara Billingsley was typecast. After the show, Billingsley found herself trapped in the image of the perfect TV mom. The beloved character made her famous, but limited her career opportunities for years. 2. The final episode explained Beaver's nickname. The last episode, Family Scrapbook 1963, served as a heartfelt farewell, revisiting moments from all 6 seasons and finally explaining the origin of Beaver's nickname. It was a touching end to a beloved era, offering closure both to the Cleaver family and millions of fans. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden secrets behind Leave It to Beaver, hit that like button and let us know which fact surprised you the most. Don't forget to subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories and classic TV revelations. Before you go, click the next video on your screen to keep exploring the fascinating secrets behind your favorite shows. We'll see you there.